When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. Septum Sin versus the world. Septum Sin versus the world. Septum Sin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching Septum Sen versus the World. I'm Septum Sen, this is Kotobuki J.
Hi.
And we're going to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Yes.
This week, we continue on to the Criterion month. And I have a lovely two-parter between this week's pickups and next week's pickups of Criterion Sale Joy. So I'm going to... Actually, I'm not going to start us off. He's going to start us off with something else because we're going to
Something
hold that
completely
Criterion.
different.
Yeah.
This is from another sale. And actually, I did say before that I think I finished off my stuff, all my holiday pickups from Right Stuff and Sentai. But I discovered that I still had some stuff waiting to be shown from an earlier Sentai sale. So this is from like back in the fall or something. And I'm starting off with one we talked about just a couple weeks ago because I think it got a re-release. And that is Those Who Hunt Elves.
I was thinking it just got a Blu-ray release.
Yes. So this is the original... well, not the original. The original Sentai release, I believe.
I was saying I don't even have the original.
Yeah, so it's okay, it says here on the back, magic and humans and naked elves, oh my.
And a cat tank.
And a cat tank. You can't forget the cat tank.
That's why I bought the thing in the first place.
So at any rate, I'm curious about this, 24 episode series. Did not cost much. I think I probably got it for $7 or $8 at the most, probably less. Because I probably got it when it went on a super steep discount.
This is also Sentai, so that's an earlier
So
Sentai
actually,
release.
no, that's probably the earlier Sentai release. So this is probably the second Sentai release. But at any rate, I am happy to finally have it. God knows when I will ever get around to watching it, but it's nice to know it's there.
Yeah, that's a T. That's a little ways in.
Oh, these are all at the end of the alphabet.
One of these you're going to have to explain to the audience. That's something we're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss our watch methods when we get to episode 100.
Ah.
That way they can understand what you mean by this is going to be some time.
Well, on the most basic level, look around you.
Yeah.
Getting to anything in either of
Can
our
take
collections
some
can
time.
take some time.
So my first one is one from a previous sale.
Oh, I need to get that.
And this is the DVD version, because it was cheaper, of Midnight Cowboy. This is not only an Oscar winner, this is one that is a really good film.
Mm-hmm.
It is about this one guy, this country guy, who ends up coming to New York, hooks up with a fellow named Ratso, and they do the gigolo thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is something I would never have expected. It's something my father showed me first. But you would expect
I would have
something.
expected
Yes.
that.
But it is worthwhile. It is worth seeing. Most of what I have seen that my father showed me is worth seeing. But maybe not at the age that I saw them.
Yes. This is notable as one of, if not the only, X-rated film to be an Oscar nominee.
And look at the number of special features on that.
Very nice.
That's a...
Yeah. Early Dustin Hoffman film, also John Voight. Yeah. Voight's original screen test, huh? Interesting.
So we got a good list this time. Not just like, oh, here's the essay book.
Yeah.
Yay!
Exactly. It's a little better than that, I see. Okay. So, my next one is one that I had wanted for a while. It looked cute. It looked fun. Every time there was a sale, I looked at it and said it's not cheap enough. I think I finally ended up getting it for around $8 or $9. And that's a series called Liu Takata.
Ah.
And I know relatively little about this, except that I think it's sort of a magical girl series. Basically, someone, or rather, someone ends up with a djinn at her command. Could be interesting. You don't see that many djinn in anime, actually, from what I remember. But I haven't seen many. But the series looks interesting. It looks, it's not that long. It finally came down to a price where I couldn't pass it up, and so I couldn't pass it up.
And for those of you interested in getting titles just like these, Sentai has another one of their awesome sales going right now.
And their DVDs are dirt cheap.
Yes.
And their collector sets that I already own are all frustratingly cheap. The ones I don't own are still expensive, but the ones I own are cheap.
My Food Wars sets are about the same as what I got them for when they...
I don't think they've ever gone this cheap. I've been watching.
I got it
You could not get them both for $90 on most of the sales previously.
I did get them pretty cheap on
You might have
sales,
gotten lucky, though.
because I know I got them on one of the
But
big
I know
sales.
Squid Girl's like $25. I can't believe it's that much cheaper than... And I think a Magi Brilliant was $30. So they've got some really good deals on those right now.
They do.
Yeah.
But I can't afford them.
Yeah.
Even that cheap.
Yeah.
So the next one is Blu-ray. And one I did not... I kept thinking I had whenever I passed it, and then I realized, wait, no, I don't have this. And that is Kuro Neko.
Black Cat.
This is a horror from Japan. But this is an old school horror, 1968. In this poetic and atmospheric horror fable set in the village in war-torn feudal Japan, malevolent spirits are ripping out the throats of the itinerant samurai. When a military hero is dispatched to confront this unseen force, he finds that he must struggle with personal demons as well. So, again, it is supposedly really good. I'm curious. It has a decent number of special features. Interview with the director. And another video from a critic, the theatrical trailer, and a new translation. And a lot of these, they actually do refine the translations for the subs in foreign language films, which is something else you might get a Blu-ray or Criterion for. So, still, pretty good.
Well, you gotta get on Blu-ray for the subtitles.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, one that, from what I've heard, is something of a Japanese horror fable, at least if you and Brittany are to be believed, is D.G. Shirat Wintergarden.
Oh. Boring.
This is a very, very different take on D.G. Shirat. I have not actually seen this one. The original D.G. Shirat series is definitely an acquired taste. It's interesting. Follows some aliens who crash in a famed gaming store. Gamers, right?
Yeah, if you follow the original, that's the one.
So this is a different spin on those characters. A very different spin that supposedly is nowhere near as exciting. But it was like $3. So I was like, okay. Yeah.
Just boring, kind of.
It's only an hour.
Yeah. Well, my next one is hopefully not that boring. With Criterion, you never know.
Yeah.
And that is Haxen.
Okay. Witchcraft Through the Ages.
Now, this is an older Criterion release, but it's a 1922, so older in multiple
22,
ways.
wow.
Yes. Grave robbing, torture, possessed nuns, and a satanic Sabbath.
for kids.
Benjamin Christensen's legendary film uses a series of dramatic vignettes to explore the scientific hypothesis that the witches of the Middle Ages suffered the same hysteria as turn-of-the-century psychiatric patients. But the film itself is far from serious. Instead, it's a witch's brew of scary, gross, and darkly humorous. Yeah. It is a genre-defying documentary. For the first time ever on DVD.
Interesting.
So you got some outtakes. You got the introduction by the director. You actually have the music from the original Danish premiere, which is pretty cool for a silent film. You don't get the original music very often.
No.
Let's see here. The fact that you have outtakes is pretty impressive, too. 1922 outtakes. Let's see, photographic exploration, stills gallery, and, of course, the new English translation. So, it looks interesting. And they have a documentary called Witchcraft Through the Ages, done in 1968. 76-minute version of Haxon, narrated by William S. Burroughs. So it's sort of like, instead of the movie, it's an actual documentary made from the movie. So, interesting.
Good times. Alright. My next one is one that, kind of like Liu Takata, is one that caught my attention a while ago. I wanted it. It was one of those things that was always so cheap. I didn't get it because it was so cheap. I would get it next time. I know it has an all-star cast. I remember Kikuko Inoue is one of the main cast members. And that is a show called Eumeria.
Ah, yeah.
Don't know much about it. It looks like good, goofy fun. It's a somewhat older show, like early aughts, I think, or maybe even earlier. I don't remember for sure. But Eumeria, of course, is kind of a riff on the word for dream. And I know it has something to do with dreams, but I really don't know much beyond that. But it looks fun. And again, it was not expensive. I think I ended up getting it for $7 or $8, so yeah,
Not bad.
good times.
All right. My next one that I know you know very well. Harikiri.
Actually, I've never seen it. I need to.
So, this one is, of course, the Blu-ray edition. 1962. A film by Masaki Kobayashi. So, following the collapse of his clan, an unemployed samurai arrives at the manor of Lord Li. I guess
E.G.
L-Y-E. Or
Isn't that an I?
E? Okay.
E.G.
Begging to be allowed to commit ritual suicide on the property. E's clansmen, believing the desperate Ronin is merely angling for a new position, try to force his hand and get him to eviscerate himself. But they have underestimated his beliefs and personal brand of honor. So, again, it's won some awards. It's a pretty cool film. I need to see it myself. But it has a couple of special features. A video introduction by Japanese film historian. Excerpt from Rare Directors Guild of Japan video interview with director Misaki Kobayashi, moderated by filmmaker Masahiro Shinoda. And a video interview with star Tatsuya Nakadai and screenwriter Shinobu Hashimoto. They also have a booklet with an essay.
Oh.
I never get those in Criterion films. But howdy kitty.
The whole thing's written in kanji. And now for something completely different. Believe it or not, this finishes off all my new, unpresented Sentai stuff. My next one is new. It was purchased new, but it was purchased at the library for, I think, $2. And it is one that I'm fairly amazed I did not have in my collection, but I managed to get a nice, pretty collector's edition that will take up lots of space. And that is White Christmas 2-disc holiday edition.
Oh, very nice edition.
Which is a very nice edition that comes with some sort of weird stuff inside. But it includes 8 White Christmas collector cards.
Comes with cocaine inside.
Yes. Do you want to build a snowman? All kinds of special features. This seems appropriate since it is July. We can say it is a Christmas in July item. But this is a classic film, even though it is a little schmaltzy and does include one very dated and inappropriate musical number. It is a very fun film that is a big part of our holiday traditions for many. And it does come with a pretty fair bit of special features there.
Even comes with some cocaine there.
Yes, that's what I said. It's good stuff. Yeah. All right.
The last one. But not the last of the Criterion. I got a full set of it for the next time's pickups, too. And this is one that,
Talk about boring. Oh, my God, this was boring.
Well, everybody has to start somewhere.
Yes.
And so does famed director Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
He started with a film called The Following.
No, simply Following.
Or Following. And this is the only Christopher Nolan film I have yet to see. And for a while it was the only film of his I did not own.
Huh.
So it's good to have it. It completes my Christopher Nolan collection.
And isn't the only one they've done on Criterion so far?
I think so.
They really need to step that up a bit.
That's strange,
and in
actually.
fact, tune into our Criterion list later this week.
Yeah.
I watched Following again. This was one of the few I streamed on Netflix. I love Christopher Nolan's work. I love his work. This film is tedious. But I will have to get it eventually.
Oh, they actually talk about its comparison with Doodlebug, which I believe is which is a short film that he did that apparently is related
it on
to
there?
This. I don't think it is.
Because that seems like a pretty good
side-by-side comparison.
No, there you go. Okay, so this is an expansion of the story from Doodlebug, apparently.
So it'll be interesting to see. But, his early work.
Yeah.
You can't expect it to be the perfect one. I mean, we all have our fountain, the fountain.
Right.
But still, fun stuff nevertheless.
Well, in this case, we're talking a first film. The Fountain was Aronofsky devoting all of his capital in the middle of his career to making this film.
Yes, but that was the first film he devoted his entire Aronofsky-ness to.
Yeah, I guess. I thought Pi and Requiem for a Dream were pretty darn Aronofsky-esque.
I don't know. I think the fountain was the distilled version of Aronofsky.
Oh, they had distilled water in the fountain. Okay, good to know. Okay, so so that was a pretty short little video.
Well, let's see how you do with your pickups this week.
All right.
As we see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.